So, I wanted to talk with you guys today a little bit about how we work with our partners. One of the things I know about partners is that they truly have PTSD symptoms. Would you all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they feel like the rug's been jerked out from under them and they're not really sure about where to go or how to behave or what to think anymore.
And everything that they've ever known is questioned now, and they're wondering if this is even something that was really true, like their marriage or
Right.
their relationship.
Was there any validity to this relationship?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What he told me, was that ever true?
Yeah.
So it creates a lot of trauma in the partner, and they don't usually know what that is or how it affects them, but it can be fogginess, loss of memory, not being able to get out of bed in the morning, many different symptoms that can affect you as a result of the trauma.
Yeah. And what about the addict when they come in, and how do they see their partner's trauma?
Yeah, I think they see their partner's trauma as they're exaggerating and overreacting.
I agree.
And it takes quite some time for the addict to really have an understanding of the damage that he's caused.
Yeah. And I think that, they come in saying, we want disclosure. We want to know everything that the addict did. But in that moment, I don't know if they're really emotionally stable enough because of the trauma they've experienced to have that right away. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think that's where Susan, working with them, doing EMDR, is really helpful as a way to start beginning to work on the
On the
initial trauma.
Yeah, I agree.
What I love about EMDR is that it's so evidence-based. It's research-based. There is a ton of research with EMDR. And Susan, you know the most about that. Can you describe a little bit about what EMDR is?
So EMDR is bilateral stimulation of both sides of the hemisphere of the brain. And the goal is to minimize trauma and to create new neural pathways in the brain.
And so they're learning to sort of calm down that neural pathway that was created by the trauma.
Yes.
Kind of like what we're doing with the sex addict.
Yes.
We're calming their sex addiction, that really powerful neural pathway that causes them to be compulsive and unable to have choice about whether they're going to do behavior or not.
Correct.
Well, that's really interesting. So EMDR would probably work as well for sex addicts, helping to calm down that compulsive neural pathway that they're trying to abstain, in the area of the brain that they're trying to abstain from.
Correct. And once we get to working with the sex addict, we try to get underneath the cause of the addiction, and that's really where we want to go with the EMDR, to help with the traumas they've experienced early on in childhood.
Something that we've added recently to our disclosure format is doing EMDR with the partner immediately after the disclosure, because a lot of times, even though we've stabilized them for disclosure and worked with them to get to disclosure, hearing all of that stuff again for the partner is re-traumatizing, and so it helps to decrease the intensity of their trauma symptoms immediately after disclosure. Would you agree?
Yes, I have experienced that with the partners that I've done EMDR with after disclosure.
Thank you.